Hello, everyone. Exotic Tonic here. I'm taking a new route of content creation. I'm actually investing my time into doing YouTube voiceovers of maybe just shit that I've recorded or maybe pulled off straight from stream. And I just want to talk about my time of being a streamer, smaller streamer. And I think this might be a breath of fresh air for people that maybe are wanting to start content or just want to hear from somebody that isn't, huge. Maybe just from somebody that's just an average Joe, just like them. And I just kind of wanted to do this to maybe tell you about things that have helped me or that I've learned in the past, year or so. And just kind of yap, raw dog it. That's what we're doing right now. And I'm gonna first start off by just saying stream quality. Stream quality is everything, but not everything. If that makes any sense. It is everything in the aspect of as long as it's 1080p, 30 FPS, somebody will watch you. And if you have a decent quality mic that isn't like peeking out and sounding like absolute garbage, somebody's gonna listen. Somebody's gonna vibe with you. You don't have to have all these extra overlays and all this extra stuff. You really don't have to do that. Take like Queso for example. He's probably got as bare minimum you can get, which is nothing wrong with that. He has a great personality that helps, cover for that type of stuff. And that's what I kind of like getting at. Is if you have a great personality, you're chill, it's going to take you somewhere. So, just, and if you have like looks, somewhat on the same level as the gameplay, and looks, somewhat on the same level as the gameplay that you're, pushing out. And you'll be all right. Another thing I wanted to talk about was also moderation. There's always going to be a stinker, a goober, a Neanderthal that just absolutely comes in and is going to test your limits of, your rules or maybe even make you uncomfortable. There's always going to be someone on the internet that's going to make you feel a certain type of way. And there's nothing wrong with setting those boundaries. And if somebody's being weird in chat, be like, hey, bro, I don't fuck with that. Or like, you don't have to say it like I just did, but you'd be like, hey, I don't really like that. That's not really cool. If you still want to vibe, you can. But if not, please respectfully leave. And if they don't leave, well, hey, just slap the ban hammer on them. I have used the ban hammer in the aspect against bots. Like I can just, if I see a bot, I'd be like, fuck you bot. I'll say it on stream and everything and just ban them. But for example, I have had recently about 4 or 5 months ago where a chatter was pretty cool. They were an artist. And, I never had a problem with them except for the fact that they were just soliciting their art. Or I guess, I don't know if soliciting would be a good choice of words, but I'm going to use it. Was soliciting their art towards my community. And then I was later hit up by some of my community members, some people I'm close with, and some chatters, and they're like, hey, this person's, in my DMs, kind of just telling me about their art, and some of them were not happy about it. So I decided to take in to my own hands, and I also kind of took it drastically, and I kind of just said, all right, well, they're obviously making people uncomfortable. I'm just going to say fuck it, screw it, and pluck this weed out of my garden. And I just blocked them on everything, banned them on everything, and just kind of called it a day. Now, do I feel bad for doing that? Most definitely. I think I could have handled it a lot better. Could have had somebody still, like, an important part of the community So I hope that if that person does find this video, I do want to formally apologize. Um, I think I've unbanned you. I'm not 100% sure. That's a little bit about that section. Um, really, just make sure to keep your community healthy, safe, for for you and your community. Um, I that's this is kind of just like my experience. Do not take this as any type of like advice. I would not recommend doing what I did. I think that I could have salvaged something. But on to the next topic. Um, we're going to talk about fatigue, stream fatigue. Um, you know, you would think, oh well, you love it so much, there should be no fatigue in it. Well, sometimes things are good in moderation, and I think this might be one of them. Like when you're streaming, especially as a small content creator, you're probably streaming to dick. Like you're not, like you're gonna have ones and zeros, and seeing that can be discouraging and can cause like a type of fatigue on you as a streamer, or even content creation on YouTube. Like this video, I imagine this video is gonna flop. I'll probably be lucky if I bring like 20 views. And if, what, I end up eating those words, hell yeah, I hope I eat those words. That'd be awesome. But I doubt it. And that's okay. But, that can be disheartening, and I think that you have to have the right brain to just be like, well, yeah, last, 10 streams or 5 streams, I've just been having 0, 1, maybe 2. And if you have that problem where for some weird reason those numbers bother you, there's always the option to just kind of click on the little viewer button if you're on PC and just turn it off so you don't know who you're talking to. And or like streaming to until they chat. So I know that can kind of get into the head of some people. I mean, shit, it got into my head for a long time when I first started streaming. Until I realized that, like, it's, a really big ocean. There's a lot of fish streaming, it's not just me. So it's going to be harder for people to find me, unless, obviously I'm posting on different platforms, which, as you can tell, if you go to my YouTube, I've neglected to do. My TikTok is probably my more active social media platform, or Blue Sky. And Blue Sky is just me posting bullshit, like a nothing burgers of posts. Just trying to pick up people. And I'm kind of tired of doing that. So I'm kind of just in my overhaul era, if you want to put it like that. I just want to overhaul everything and start fresh. I will keep my videos up, my old videos, as like a reminder of like flops, I guess, to like try to strive for more. But I will have to say I could do better. And I imagine if you're watching this and have gotten this far into the video, I imagine you could do better too. You just gotta keep improving, and that's what I'm planning on doing. Is I'm planning on trying to improve my YouTube end. Speaking of YouTube end, if you strictly want to do streaming, which this is a mentality I think I picked up from, it was like a podcast that had I Am Wildcat. I fucked with I Am Wildcat and like the Vanoss crew back in the day. He mentioned something that kind of just I've unlocked something in my brain, and now I want to do more. Is when I stream, I want to stream in the mind of, oh, I'm doing this for a YouTube video. I want to, I want to be able to highlight this stuff and break it down and put it on YouTube. So yeah, it'll make it feel like a little bit more corporate, I guess, in the aspect that like I'm going to, obviously try to keep striving to do better, but in a way that it's meant for YouTube. You're just watching it live. So you might see things on YouTube that you probably won't see in person, like if you're watching on my Twitch. I really can't think of anything else. for my time of streaming, other than, you know, maybe just be you. Your personality will take you a lot farther nowadays. I mean, if you have great gameplay, don't get me wrong. If you're good at games, are fantastic, phenomenal, keep doing that. Keep being like, if that's you, keep doing it. But if you're like me, like, I mean, you probably have seen from the gameplay that I am showing you that, like, I'm just like your average Joe. I'm just a dude that works all the time and gets on to enjoy the game every once in a while. Like, I'm not like peak gameplay or anything. I'm employed. So, you know, I'm just trying to do something new, I guess. I kind of rambled on there, my bad. But that's all I really had. If you made it this far into the video, what, almost like 11 minutes in, follow me on Twitch. That's where you'll see me the most. I stream normally at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to about 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But that could be changing because, well, I don't normally stay on second shift for very long. I could be going back to first, where I'm starting the stream maybe, you know, like 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or, you know, somewhere in that range. So, just kind of, I'll keep up to date with that. Maybe post like a comment thing on YouTube or something. But either way, yeah, follow me there. I hope this was good to hear. Maybe something refreshing for somebody. You guys have a great night.